Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. In this video I will actually talk about Compose and my experience with it, because now it's roughly 1 year since I've been using Compose, or since it's actually been marked as stable by Google. And I think it's a good time to actually now share my experience, because I have used it throughout the whole year, also in bigger projects, in smaller projects, in my YouTube videos and stuff like that. And I think I'm now in a position to actually tell you what I think about it, and also to give you a recommendation for beginners, if you should actually directly learn it, if you should learn XML first and things like that. So first of all, I will start talking about the good parts of Jetpack Compose, so what I really like about it. Then I will talk about some neutral parts, and in the end about some of the bad parts that are also existing. And at the end I will actually give you some kind of conclusion what I think about it, and if you should also use it in your project, if it's ready for production and things like that. And starting with the actual biggest advantage I see in Jetpack Compose, and that is that it makes building UI so much more intuitive and easy. For example, when you actually want to build some kind of reusable UI component with XML and you want to give it some kind of custom style, then I'm sure you've noticed that before, you've experienced this, that there are so many different XML attributes you actually need to fight with. For example, there is background tint, background, there is like some other kind of tint, there's app tint, there's Android tint, so many different attributes, and you don't even know which one you should actually now use to change the background color. And that doesn't only apply for the background color for XML views, it also applies to many other comparable attributes. And with Compose, doing things like that is just so much more intuitive, because we put all the UI related code into our composable functions. If we want to give our composable a background color, or if we want to give it rounded corners, or if we want to give it some kind of border, then we only need to change code in our composable functions. We don't need any drawable resources, we don't need any style XML files, and we don't need any other layout XML files, where we always need to ask ourselves, where do I actually need to put this code now that actually has the impact on my UI that I want. And also just building reusable components, so basically UI components that you can easily reuse across your whole app, is a lot easier with Compose. Like, let's be honest, if you want to do that in XML, you need a custom view, at least if that also needs some kind of custom behavior and you're not fine with a simple include block in your XML layout, which works for some views but not for all views. And if you then want to kind of easily change the initial values of your custom view by using XML attributes, then you would also need an additional XML file in your values folder, where you basically specify all the attributes your custom view supports. And then in your custom view, you need to parse these, you need to assign these to the custom view. So that was a lot of pain to actually make reusable UI components with XML. With Compose, you simply provide all these different values in form of normal code parameters for a function, and then it will work just fine. And from this, I actually get to the second advantage of Jetpack Compose, and that is just that it is much quicker to actually build UI with Jetpack Compose. Of course, because it is so much more intuitive to actually build that UI. And as a third thing that I really like about Jetpack Compose is its great interoperability with XML. So I recently started migrating a bigger project of mine to using Compose, at least for some parts of the app. So the whole project was written in XML, and now I start to at least write new UI components in Jetpack Compose. And I also just implemented some kind of custom grid in Jetpack Compose, because it was just so much easier to build this custom UI component. And when doing that, I realized how great the interoperability between Compose and XML actually currently is. And that really wasn't a very simple grid, that had quite some logic involved. And each grid item, so each single UI component that was included in that grid, was implemented with an Android view. So in the end, I included an Android view from XML in my Compose grid that was implemented in a Compose view. So there was quite some interoperability composables and views involved here, and it worked just fine. So Google did a really good job here actually with the interoperability. So if you have some kind of project you wrote in XML, then really feel free to migrate it to Compose step by step by adding just new UI components using Compose and Compose view, and the other way around, if you only have like a view that is not available as a composable, maybe that comes from a library, then you can also just use the Android View composable in Jetpack Compose, and that works perfectly fine. So those were the most important good points about why you should use Compose. Next up, I want to get to one neutral point which I want to talk about, and that is performance. Because people very often ask me how Jetpack Compose actually compares to XML when it comes to actually performance, so how quickly things actually render on the screen. And I will actually link a very interesting article regarding that down below, which was written just a few days ago, which I read on Twitter, or actually saw the link on Twitter. That was quite interesting actually. And that article directly compared the performance of XML layouts to Compose layouts. And in the end, the most interesting metric that this article, or the author of this article, found out was that the median page load duration of Compose layouts versus XML layouts was actually 2.5 times slower for Compose layouts than actually for XML layouts. So Compose layouts needed 2.5 times as much time to actually load compared to XML ones. However, that only happened when the Compose components are actually loaded for the first time. When they are already loaded, then Compose actually outperforms XML. So that's quite interesting in that article. I won't talk about the details now because the article states that quite well. In the end, it comes down how Android actually loads and preloads these UI component, but I will link it down below and feel free to go over it and leave some claps to that great Medium article. So that's it for the neutral part because, well, it depends when you measure the performance, what's actually faster. Now coming to the clearly bad points about Compose. For example, list item animations like we know with diffutil and recycler views. For example, we don't have scroll bars yet with Compose, we don't have staggered grids or lazy staggered grids, we don't have shared element transitions. So all these things you have quite often in apps aren't yet easily possible with Jetpack Compose. However, they are on Google's roadmap, so they will definitely come to Jetpack Compose, but they are not there yet. And disadvantage number 2 is that it of course takes time for the industry to adapt to Jetpack Compose. So it probably won't surprise you if I tell you that in the industry XML is still highly superior because companies can't just press one big red button and migrate their whole project to Jetpack Compose. These projects sometimes have hundreds of thousands of lines of code or even millions, and that just takes some time to migrate. And for companies, it's of course always a trade-off. If they migrate their UI library or UI framework to a more up-to-date framework and spend a lot of money on that for the developers to migrate that, or they spend the money on actually bringing out new features and maintaining their existing code base. So that's quite a big trade-off to actually make for a company. In the long run, I think they will have to migrate to Compose, but that's of course something that is easily skipped in favor of some more important or more urgent changes. So now getting to my conclusion here. On the one hand, I want to talk about if Compose is ready for production, if I would use it in production level projects. And on the other hand, I want to talk about if you are now a beginner of Android development, what should you actually learn and what should you start with XML or with Jetpack Compose? So starting with its stability. In my opinion, Compose is definitely stable enough to use in production. That's what I will also now do. As I said, I will migrate my existing project to using Jetpack Compose. I haven't found any stability related issues, so that it kind of has some weird bugs or so. That just didn't happen to me. And unless you really need these missing features of Compose that I talked about here, then you're totally good to actually use it in production. And now coming to the next point, if you're a beginner, what should you now learn? So if you ignore the aspect that XML layouts are just more spread in the industry right now, Compose is clearly the superior option for building Android UIs actually. And even if you disagree with that opinion, it is a fact that the trend of building Android UI is clearly going towards Compose. So it will very likely happen in the next years that XML will receive less and less support by Google, similarly as they did it with Java back then when there was a big debate about should you learn Java, should you learn Kotlin? Well, we just saw with that if Google wants to actually push some kind of technology, which was Kotlin back then, they made Android Kotlin first, and now they have Compose. So I think in the next years, Google will come over and say, hey, Android is actually now Compose first. And then we just have to adapt to that, and that's fine. However, if you have absolutely no idea of Android, I would still recommend to start with XML. Why do I think that way? Well, you should at least be able to build some simple layouts with XML because there are just so many different resources out there that use XML. So you don't need to become a master at it, but you should at least know things like constraint layout, relative layout, linear layout, and just how you can build some kind of layout hierarchy and also access these views in your fragments and activities. That will just give you a very good foundation of Android in general, because you will face activities, you will face fragments, and just how all these things work together. Because if you research for issues, even if you, no matter if you use Compose or XML, you will inevitably stumble over XML code. But I think as soon as you're somewhat familiar with XML and you can build simple layouts and simple custom views, then I would really recommend to start learning Compose, because yeah, the long-term trend is clearly going towards Compose, and this will become more and more popular and more supported by Google. And if you actually are at that point right now where you know the basics about XML and you're now ready to learn Jetpack Compose, then I have a very cool Jetpack Compose basics playlist here for you, so feel free to check that out and learn all the important stuff using Jetpack Compose.